morning.
Good morning.
It's Thursday. It's July 23rd. It's our normal podcast day. So we're podcasting a little earlier than we would normally do. Actually, you know what? What is even normal anymore? So
Yeah.
What is even normal? So it's Thursday and we're podcasting. And if all goes well, I'll get this uploaded before I leave work today. If not, it'll be tomorrow.
And I'm not using my iPad, so hopefully I won't be like cutting out. I don't know what was the deal. Maybe I have to update the app again or something.
Who knows? But we know you guys all love to just crazy Zoom. Somebody commented about my crazy Zoom face it kept doing that last time, and I'm like, yep, that's pretty much, we were getting there. I was like,
I know. Like, if it stops one more time.
I'm so stupid. So anyway, so this is actually a podcast that's supposed to be about yarn and knitting and spinning and occasionally my attempts at crocheting and just whatever other random stuff that Kelly and I decide to talk about related generally to Vermont and like the weather and all that fun stuff. So we are a actual bricks and mortar yarn shop in Shelburne, Vermont. We are open to the public, though we also have an online store and we're offering curbside pickup. So whatever is the easiest way for you to do your yarn shopping, we've tried to have that set up for you.
Yep.
And you can find the store out on all social media as Must Love Yarn. So come check out our website, join us on Ravelry, follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, whatever your preferred social media platform is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm Angela.
And I'm Kelly.
And you can find me out on social media, Instagram and Ravelry as Junior Bird Kid.
And you can find me on Instagram as Kelly O Spins. And you can find me on Ravelry as Kelly Spins. And you can also find me on Instagram as a lot of
other things. Cranky Sheep, Burnbridge Farm.
I know, like I always have to be really careful about which account I'm on because I've got the Must Love Yarn account, my Kelly O Spins account, my Fernbridge Farm account, and Cranky Sheep account. So I don't want to like accidentally reply to something with the wrong account. I mean, and not that it would really matter because I know.
And usually I forgot to switch out of these guys' account, and so I'm wandering around commenting as meerkats, and then I'm like, oh wait, I'm in the wrong account.
That's hilarious. That's really hilarious. Oh my gosh, that picture that Todd sent you on Facebook this morning, that was
love
the
it.
best.
I'm gonna steal that and probably repost it on my own, on these guys' Instagram page because it's awesome. So these are our podcast and store mascots. These are 3 of our mob of meerkats, and these are the ones that have been quarantining with me. And
I always forget to grab the other ones from up front.
I know. It's cool. Those ones don't have names.
Still not yet. I know. We should just like pick
terrible.
Them,
I know. Yeah. So this is Gage. This is our original podcast mascot. And this is Gage's friend Swatch that we picked up on vacation about a year ago. And then this is Stitch that has joined our little crew, I don't know, sometime in the last 6 or 7 months. So this is my trio. We do have an Instagram page for these guys, which I've been trying to have a little more active lately. So come check out some of their shenanigans over there.
I saw them sunbathing by the river.
Yeah. But it gets really fun. I'm a back and forth with my personal page and their page with comments and other shenanigans. So that's sometimes can be super fun. So come check out these guys and follow them if you're into that. It's just funny. Anyway. But, so I have some finished objects.
Sweet.
I have 3 finished objects.
That's amazing.
I know, and one of them's a sweater.
I have a quasi-finished project.
That's cool too. So let me get my pile of knitting because one of them actually is going to be kind of funny. as apparently everything I do when I'm knitting these days is kind of funny. So let's start with the non-funny stuff.
Okay.
I have another pair of socks, which so Kelly cranked the tube for me. So really I can only take credit for the cuffs, heels, and toes. But I've been steadily working through my pile of cranked tubes because I have made another pile of yarn to go to Kelly to get more tubes. So Kelly, I'll maybe make it very soon. Or whenever you have time. No rush.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, crank tubes! That's fine. That works for me. That totally works for me. So,
Totally endless supply of cranking for birthdays. And
I'm pretty sure I have a coupon that says that somewhere.
I
know. So the other thing that I made is an Empower
nice
scarf. I haven't decided if I'm going to wear it as a head thing or around the neck. It either fits. So this is a pattern by Casapinka, and there's a crocheted version, and there's actually a sewn version as well. They are all free patterns, and it's just to try to get the message out to vote. So it's to remind people to register to vote and to make sure that you do vote. It's incredibly important, always
Super
incredibly important to exercise your rights to vote.
And if you don't think it doesn't matter, it matters.
It totally matters.
Yeah.
So this is, it calls for a DK weight yarn. So I've used, this is actual DK weight yarn, and the stripes are actually fingering held double.
Nice. It's
so you
cute.
might
I like
recognize the yarn as some leftover Green Mountain spinnery that I made a shawl out of.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So I added the stripes. The pattern does not call for stripes. The pattern is simply a garter stitch, a kind of triangle that you knit and then seam together in the back to make.
I like it with the little stripes though. It's cute.
It's kind of a little fun, and it made sure I had enough yarn because I wasn't necessarily going to have enough yarn of just if I just used one color. Yeah. So this allowed me to make
a good use of scraps.
A great use of scraps. So I have that little finished object. And then I have this debacle. It's the only way to describe it.
Oh no.
So it's done.
Nice. But
it's enormous.
I wondered because it looked like after you blocked it,
I haven't even blocked it yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, I thought that's maybe what happened.
I'm scared to block it. So this is, it's pre-blocking. It's like made for like a linebacker. I mean, I made the size that I normally make, which is an extra large, and which generally accounts for
your tight knitting.
Mm-hmm. I modified the number of decreases. So I cut back the rows in between the decrease rows because as I was knitting it, I was like, this looks like it's gonna be really big and really deep. And it's loose to the point that it doesn't look very good. So I have some thoughts. I mean, I could just include it in one of these auctions. And if somebody who is broader shoulders than me, because that's really what it's going to take. It's going to take somebody that is bigger through here.
Yeah.
And I think it would fit fine.
I have broad shoulders.
Yeah, Kelly, I think you would be swimming in this because I'm swimming in this. So I don't know. It's probably going to get gifted to somebody because I don't really want to rip it out.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not going to wear it because it's going to be, it's like, it's worse than the Descent cardigan or sweater before I ripped it out and re-knit it. So that one was really baggy and loose through the shoulders. And this has done that as well, but it's like even worse.
Oh no.
So I don't know if going down a size when I got to this section, because in this part it fits okay, Though I think the pattern intended for it to be tighter, it's loose on me, which is fine. I don't mind that through the middle, but then I think what that did was translate it into being too big through this section.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might stop by the store and see if Andrea wants to try it on, because she's definitely a lot broader through the shoulders than me, and if it fit her, I'd be like, you can have it if she liked it, because it's, you know, want somebody who's gonna wear it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It's done.
Really, yeah, it's pretty. It's really pretty.
Thank you. I like the way the colors turned out. There's a little bit of flashing in it, but not, you know, not anything that's super, oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, the only other way that it might work for somebody is if somebody who is even smaller than me wanted to wear it as like a super tunic, and it was meant to be super oversized. Like, it's, for me, it's on that really like awkward, not quite too big, not quite too small.
Yeah.
So it looks just bad. But somebody that was smaller than me could probably pull it off as like an oversized baggy sweater.
Yeah, because that's been really popular again, you know.
Yeah. So, but you know what? Sometimes these things happen. Sometimes they happen. So, and you know, who knows what size I actually made? Because my stitches were totally off again. At certain points, I was like, oh, I don't know. Because you really start to notice when you're doing the decreases, and you're like, I don't have the same number of stitches between each of these slip stitch ridges. Huh. So there could be some of that involved in this sweater situation as well, but I can't imagine was that off that it would cause that kind of issue. Who knows what happened? This is what happens when I imbibe in adult beverages and knit. Fun things happen.
Fun things happen.
Fun things happen. I don't know.
I can show my quasi. So I don't know if it technically qualifies as the NAFO, but it sort of does. So I've been doing a lot of spinning. Nice. And I do have a finished skein.
Ooh, that counts.
So spinning FO.
Spinning episode.
So spinning FO, I do have this skein of yarn, which it's I'm pretty sure this is a South African fine merino.
Okay.
I forgot to bring the label with me. I started spinning it a while ago, and then when I've been hosting knit group on Wednesday nights, I've actually been getting some spinning done, which is kind of fun, because then I get a big block, like a 2-hour block, just sitting at my wheel, chatting and spinning, and I don't really have to pay a lot of attention while I'm spinning, which is a nice thing, because you just do it, you know.
Yeah.
So I can't remember. I haven't calculated the yardage on this, but it's basically like a worsted weight is what it came out to. And
nice. That's beautiful.
Fun. Thank you. So it smells so good. It's sheepy.
Nice.
So this is I know I've mentioned it before, but I was part of Spunky Eclectics Wool of the Month, Fiber of the Month club for a number of years, and this is actually one of hers that she dyed. So
awesome.
Yeah. So
super cool. Totally counts. It's a spinning FO.
Spinning FO. Now I just have to decide what I'm going to use it for.
Awesome.
Not so good.
So make an awesome like hat or yoke, counter yoke color for color.
So it's funny. I actually have. I was gonna do a sweater, and I have yarn spun for a sweater. It was actually one. So Amy King is the woman who owns Spunky Eclectic, and she had done a sweater pattern where you knit up you spin up some different yarns, and then it was like a very early version of kind of some of the fading that is going on, but she wrote the pattern like, I don't know, at least a good 5 years ago, I think. And I had spun for that, so I've got all the yarn for that, and I was like, there's so many great sweater patterns out there. I could throw this in because the colors I did are kind of, I think would work with this. Well, anyway, I spun this at my kind of normal, my default spinning.
Mm-hmm.
How I usually, when I sit down to spin, I spin a supported long draw. So I typically make woolens or semi-woolen spun yarns, depending on the preparation of the fiber. So this is kind of, a lot of my yarns look like this. They're kind of, especially 2-ply, if I'm just doing my sitting down at the wheel just to spin for fun, this is typically what my yarns, my 2-ply yarns will end up like. They're usually like a worsted weight, and they're squishy because they're a woolen spun. So, and my other skeins that I have that I've already spun look a lot like this. So I could put them together and do a bigger project if I wanted to.
Nice.
So, but I have to look at the colors because that was a while ago, and I know there are some colors that would work with that. But this has some oranges and yellows and greens and stuff in it, so that'd be kind of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So I finished those things, and then I've only been working on one other project.
Okay.
And I'm almost to the end of the row, so let me just finish this row here, and then I can hold it up and show everybody. And then when I get done with that, I don't know what I'm gonna work on next. There's too many things I want to make, and I can't choose one right now.
So I have still, so after I got that plied, I actually grabbed some Shetland that I've had in my stash for a while. I've been in there for like 4 or 5 years, and started spinning on that. So I went from, really bright colors to a really pretty gray. It's hard to see, the light isn't great, and it's not super great, but it's kind of just a medium tone gray. So
nice.
I've got this one bobbin, and then I started another one last night and during knit group, and so then I'll have those to ply before too long too.
Cool.
And that's kind of what I've been doing other than working on the Seasons Vermont pattern, which I can't show anyway, so I didn't bring it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I'm a copycat. We'll make that the title of the podcast. Copycat. And I liked that shawl pattern that Kelly was showing by Amy Christopher's, the If Sun Comes shawl, so much that I thought, I'm going to make one for myself.
She's going to beat me too.
Probably, because I'm already on the second color.
Yeah, I'm still like,
So I just added in the second color.
Oh, nice. That's pretty.
And so this is Lolo Did It.
Mm-hmm.
And this is her Hippo for Summer, which is the multicolored one. And then she has specifically dyed some solid colors that match. So this red, although it's not really picking up very well on the camera, there are flecks of that particular red, which is her colorway Sriracha, in this multicolored one. So there's some oranges and some magentas and some different shades of red. So I thought I'd go a little bit out of my normal wheelhouse. So instead of getting like the purple magenta, that I would go for kind of a bright red and just do something a little different. So.
Yeah, that's really pretty. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you. So yes, I am working on being pretty close to done.
Nice.
Yeah, still have a little ways to go, and it's all sort of slip stitch stuff now that I've got to pay attention to a chart on. So little slower going than it's been in the past previously, but moving right along. DK weight shawl. So
yeah. Nice.
But I don't have anything else on the needles.
Either.
I mean, nothing that I'm.
Well, I have stuff on the needles, but I have nothing more to show today.
Nothing else that I've been working on. That's a challenge. I did have some new yarn that arrived yesterday. I'm calling it birthday yarn.
Birthday yarn.
That's nice. My story, and I'm sticking to it. So every year, Stephanie Pearl McPhee does the bike rally in Canada, and she and her team raise a ton of money for different Doctors Without Borders, I think is usually what they raise money for, maybe a couple of other charities. So they weren't able to do that event this year and fundraising. So a few different places have offered up products or different things to donate proceeds to. So Indigo Dragonfly is one of the companies that had some offerings that were based on sort of the team. So this is their multi-colored called pedal pushers. So they designed this colorway for the team, but also they ask each team member if they were a color, what would they be? And so they designed a mini skein for each of the team members.
That's funny.
So this is in Steph. So that's actually a bright, kind of bright orange. And then there's Calicamius. Trying to remember which team member that one's for.
That's funny.
Yeah. And there's potatoes or potatoes. So nice blue. And all these colors live in this skein. And then this is Cuneiform. So apparently when he responded to the survey, he was like, anything but magenta. Magenta is so wrong. And so apparently to make this color, you have to use magenta. So that's sort of the joke.
That's really funny. That's funny.
So it's just, I felt it was a great way to sort of support this cause and get some really kind of pretty yarn in the process and pick up some new mini skeins to go with all of these cranked tubes that I've been making, or I've not been making. Kelly's cranked and I've been turning them into socks. So this one may show up in that group just to play around with the new group. But anyway, so those just arrived from Canada. So
excellent.
Yeah. So she donated, the owner of Indigo Dragonfly donated money to the charity for that they normally do for bike rally from proceeds. So
nice.
Yeah. So I think, a lot of people are doing kind of cool stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just not stop doing things just because.
We're all finding new ways.
Yeah, exactly. Change it up and figure out a way of doing the best you can with.
Yeah. So I don't think that we got a chance to talk about some of this stuff last week, or I can't remember, or we were getting ready to notify folks. So the retreat for 2020 has been canceled.
Yeah.
We had to finally make that decision. We are working on rescheduled dates for 2021. So don't worry, we're not just taking it off the table. We just figured it was easier to cancel and then turn our focus to basically setting up a new event.
Rather than postponing and postponing and postponing.
Yeah. So that was, so the retreat attendees all know that they've been notified. So stay tuned for the 2021 event that's coming. Most likely it's going to be in September of next year. So just, we wanted to make it far enough out that it's a fantastic time of year to be here in Vermont, but also hopefully far enough out that we won't have to make another tough decision. So we'll see. So fingers crossed. But one of the things that I'm working on putting together is, as a part of the retreat, we offer a marketplace and a way for some of our local vendors to vend and have materials, and the retreat attendees get to shop there, and we open it up to the public. And so we didn't want to lose that. So I'm in the process of setting up a virtual version of that. for any of our vendors that want to participate. So that would be Saturday, August 15th. Did I have the right date? Probably.
Yeah, it's coming up because
I know.
End of July.
I know. So I need to get my button gear. Which is why I'm talking about it now, even though it's not totally all ready. So you mark your calendars for August 15th, because we're gonna have, it's probably gonna look like coming on, and the vendor's gonna we'll schedule vendors at certain times, and so you can choose, hop on when you want, hop on when you, if you don't. But just a way to still keep that connection for folks.
Yeah.
So so keep an eye on our social media, because hopefully I'll have that stuff out really soon. So we know what's going on, but I need to deal with some stuff. My actual real job has kind of gone, so I've been a little busy, which is part of the reason why we didn't podcast last week. It's been a little crazy here. Crazy. So really the last thing I want to do when I get home is continue to work. So I haven't been, which is why this is not fully organized yet. But this should surprise nobody. We'll pull it off. It'll be great. Mark your calendars, August 15th. It's coming. And if it's not great, we'll all laugh about it anyway. So what could possibly go wrong? Anyway.
And if it all, falls apart, then I'll jump onto Zoom with my, hopefully by then I'll have some sheepies, and I'll just, you can just watch sheep TV.
Best case, we'll have an actual marketplace. Worst case, you can watch Kelly sheep. And maybe meerkats.
Meerkats.
We'll figure something out. We'll figure something out. But anyway, so just want to let people know that's coming up. And yes, it's coming up really soon. So I should get my stuff together. I will do that. Stay tuned. Watch our social media. Some of our vendors are like, well, that's interesting because I haven't heard from you recently. Okay. So when I get done here, I apparently have to go email a whole bunch of people with a schedule. So there's that. And so I've now made this announcement, and the cat's out of bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you better.
You better. Before this gets uploaded,
right?
I'm on it.
Got a couple hours, Ange.
Yep. All right. So on that fun note, I'm not sure what else I have. I could do this for hours, people.
We mentioned the Great Northern Yarn Hall.
Yes.
In our pre-take outtakes. But so the Great Northern Yarn Hall is going on. So if you're in Vermont, New Hampshire, or Maine, we have, whether they're like 20-ish participating stores, I think, something like that. Yeah. And so you can go from store to store, and most of the stores are giving away a free pattern or some little thing. And if you participate, this year, we've in the past done bags with that each store stuffs their own little goodie treats and things. And this year, to make it simpler, we're just doing enamel pins. They're really cute. Jen did the design for them. Cute. Yeah. And so enamel pins. And if you don't want to participate, you can actually buy an enamel pin if the stores have any left. Yep. Each store bought a certain amount. So, and if you want to kick it off, if you, at whatever store you decide to kick it off at, with a $20 purchase, you get the little pin for free, and you get your passport, and you go to as many of the stores as you want to, or as you can go to. I think once you go to 8 stores, that you can enter for the grand prize drawings, or the which are gift cards this year. So rather than sending a bunch of a yarn around from everybody, we well, I shouldn't say we because I have nothing to do with this. Jen,
the stores that are
the
participating,
royal we,
the royal we decided to do a gift card approach this year for the prizes.
yeah, which is smart, you know,
Yeah.
'cause it does save on shipping, and then the winners can use the gift cards however they choose.
Exactly.
They can buy whatever they want for yarn or accessories or whatever at the store using the gift card. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that is going on until August 2nd, I believe. So a week from Sunday. So you still have time to participate if you want to. And a lot of the stores, so if you are in Vermont, a number of the stores are in Vermont and New Hampshire. I think there's only just a couple in Maine this year. But yeah.
And otherwise, I mean, we are still hosting virtual knit nights on Wednesday evening and Sunday afternoon.
So Jen hosts the Sunday one and I host the Wednesday one.
Yeah.
And we've had some fun turnout. We've got people from all over.
That's so cool.
All over the States. We've got somebody who's been joining us regularly from Canada.
That's awesome.
We've got a really fun groups that meet up, and you know, sometimes people can come to both. Sometimes people can only come to one or the other, but it's a fun group.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
So, I don't know if we've got anything else going on. I mean, pretty much everything Yarny related is going virtual for the foreseeable future. So, I see that Vogue Online is having another series of classes in August.
Yeah.
So, you know, check it out. It's a great way to maybe learn a new technique or take a class from a teacher in sort of an more economical fashion.
Yeah.
Without having to travel. So.
Nice. Yeah, I know you really enjoyed the classes that you took.
Yeah.
Was that through Vogue or was that Interweave? That was
Vogue. Yep. So I think, you know, I'm going to go take a look at the ones in August and just see, you know, who's on the class schedule and if anything else catches my eye, because it's a very easy way to do some of these classes and have them be pretty close to being in live person, except that you're just not in the same room with the person that's teaching. So, but you know, most of the teachers that I took classes from were like on it and were good at using the technology and knew how to do all the stuff, and it was good.
That's good. Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be a quick podcast today, but you know.
Yeah, that's all right. It was kind of a little bit of a shorter one last week. Mostly because we just don't.
2 weeks ago.
You would think we'd have so much more with the two,
I know.
But I'm going to blame it on the weather. It's been so hot here.
Yeah.
Like, it's been tough to.
That's why I've been doing more spinning. I've always done more spinning in the summer than I have knitting. So.
Not yet picked up that hobby.
Come on, don't you have all the time in the world to learn?
I have nothing but time. I can't even imagine trying to introduce a spinning wheel into my house right now.
Oh my God. No,
I would have helpers.
Yes, you would.
Multiple helpers.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even wind yarn without helpers, which I've just given into it, and knowing that like my cake's gonna be tangled in places, and it's just easier. So I usually have help winding skeins. That's fine. Oh, I have a question for you. If I'm bringing you yarn to crank, do you want me to cake those for you? Is that easier, or does it matter?
You don't have to. Just bring them as they are.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Put that packet together and drop it off maybe this weekend.
Okay. I'm gonna be around unless I'm picking up sheets.
Well, if that's the case, I'll leave them with Mr. Kelly Ospins.
You can do that because
And he'll be like, what's this? He'll be like, I'm just bringing your wife some yarn. Don't worry. Don't worry. Nothing you need to worry about in this bag. That'll be fine. Oh, I have egg cartons for you if you want egg cartons.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Sounds good.
Okay.
And I've been selling all my eggs. I have like no eggs.
Nice. That's good though. It's awesome.
Yeah, I know.
So this podcast has devolved into the Kelly and Angela catch up about random stuff.
We haven't talked in 2 weeks, so we're just gonna sit here and talk.
Why not? Just chitter chat. No knitting content at all. Just, random whatevers.
Mm-hmm.
So something's totally eaten my tomatillos this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's some sort of beetle. It's got to be like just the. Hasn't bothered tomatoes, hasn't bothered the basil, hasn't bothered the peppers, just the tomatillos. It's a particular palette of beetle.
Yep.
What are you gonna do?
Oh my gosh, my cucumber crop this year
is it gonna be huge?
Crazy. I've already got some that I've got to pickle, and nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have I'm gonna be giving everybody's getting pickles for Christmas. Yes. Because if I can find vinegar, oh my gosh, I went to the grocery store last week. 0
really
gallons of vinegar. 0. I was like, really?
I bet this is going to be the next flower here, right? Because lots of people put in gardens and lots of people are probably going to try home canning. And so they've scooped up the vinegar. So I'm going to give my home canning public service announcement right now. Please, please, please make sure you are using tested recipes for home canning for both water bath canning and pressure canning, and make sure you're using the appropriate technique, because what we don't want to see happen is have people get sick because they're improperly putting food up.
So it's botulism is real.
Yeah, it's incredibly important. And if you need resources, most of the time your local extension office, which is usually at one of your universities. For us here in Vermont, it's at the University of Vermont. But also a huge number of the ball recipes have been properly tested.
Don't use just any internet recipe unless you know it's from a reliable source.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, because they're not.
Yeah, because the food safety thing is big, and I think with more people home canning, it just it's important, and it's important to follow the recipe to the T. For what it says for processing times and how you process the food to make sure it stays safe.
Yeah.
So, all right. Cap off.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, making sure that all of everything is sterilized and
Yep.
Nope, super duper important.
So anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there.
Nope. No, that's a good PSA for today.
Yes. Since we're a little light on actual knitting content, I will lecture you about food safety.
So we've lectured them about voting, and we've lectured them about food safety. So
now I have to rename this podcast The Lecture.
Angela does do a lot of teaching and lecturing for some of her lawyerly bits. So, she's
sort of in my nature. To make sure people are safe and doing things correctly.
She only has your best interests at heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. All right.
I don't think people will watch it if you put lecturing as
probably no. I'm gonna leave it at something like it's all about me.
Subtitle, it's a tiara.
It's a tiara. Or maybe I'll just call it Tiaras and Yarn, and people can just come figure out what that means.
There you go.
Anyway. All right. Well, thank you everyone for stopping by and putting up with all of our shenanigans for however long this podcast is. I don't even know at this point. Maybe an hour. Hour-ish. We really appreciate everyone coming by, dropping comments, validating our personalities. Because, we know there's lots of choices and people can go watch other folks. So, we appreciate all of you that have been with us for the long haul and all of our new people who are popping in to check out what all the fuss is about. So we appreciate it. And, at some point we'll be able to podcast together again. So that'll be exciting. But
just, one of us could sit in the chair and one could sit on the couch.
We'd still have to do the split screen Zoom thing though, because
if we put the camera far enough back, then if we wanted to show something, we just have to be like.
That would be pretty funny. That would be actually funny as an outtake of like, this is what it would look like if we didn't do the split screen.
It'd be kind of like there was a scene from, I think it was in Sesame Street with Grover, and he was doing near and far, and he'd be like, near. And he'd like keep running up and back and forth to the camera.
And of course, my brain immediately goes to Kids in the Hall. I am pinching your face. Sorry. Okay. I've just dated myself the generation I'm in that I was watching Kids in the Hall. So anyway. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a good end to their week and is staying safe and enjoying things wherever you are watching us from. So we will hopefully see you all soon in podcast land or virtual land, or
come knit with us on Knit Group if you want.
Yeah.
Come visit the shop.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see till next time, which is hopefully next week, but not making any promises. All right. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye. All right. We are recording.
Yeah.
I have no fun bear stories.
No fun bear stories.
I have no fun chipmunk stories.
Oh, I have one.
Ooh. Oh boy, this looks like it's going to be a good one.
So we put up a frame that had been an animal run-in, and it had like one of those really heavy duty, not really a tarp, it is sort of a tarp, but one of those kind of like portable shed type things. And I had that as a run-in for my horses.
Okay.
When they weren't, in the barn, they could run into that out in the field. So we turned that into a greenhouse and put clear plastic over it. So This year was the first year we had done that. And by the way, my tomatoes in there are going crazy. It's like a tomato jungle. They're just like everywhere.
Nice.
So I've got peppers in there too. And this darn little chipmunk decided to be very crafty and sneak under the board that goes around the bottom of it. He dug a hole, and I've got a heart trap, and I put like right in front of the hole. So I caught one morning, and I could hear him a little bit, and I was like, oh cool, I'll have to deal with him later, take him walking back into the woods. And I was out with my dogs, and Willie is a big time squirrel and chipmunk hunter, bunny hunter, snakes, anything that's little and moves, he likes to chase it. And he's been known to dispatch them before. So, but I didn't think he saw him, and the dogs aren't really allowed in the greenhouse. I keep them out of there. But right now we don't have the door on it for ventilation.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went out to let the chickens out. This was early in the morning, like 5:30 in the morning. And And he was milling around doing his thing, and Winnie was out by the barn, and they're being fine. And I go in, let the chickens out, and then I'm like, where is Willie? Willie's disappeared. And then I hear this commotion in the greenhouse. And I'm like, oh no. And so I like went running over there. He had, of course, turned the have a heart trap upside down, which then makes it so the doors will open. And not only did he not like catch the chipmunk, but he let the chipmunk go. He took out 3 of my pepper plants. Oh, I was so mad. I was like, dude, you could have at least caught the chipmunk. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Not much, you know. I reset the trap and said, well, I hope he's dumb enough to run back in there, and the dog is not.
Well, Chipmunk, that was your one free pass.
Right? I know. Oh well.
Oh well.
Uh-oh, she's counting.
I know. I am not planned very well in terms of what I have to knit on for this podcast.
I actually don't think I brought any knitting with me.
No?
Because I haven't been knitting. I've been spinning though.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That
Yeah,
counts.
I've gotten, the only time that I've been spinning is pretty much during knit group on Wednesday nights. But I've been getting, you know, I get a couple hours of spinning in on Wednesday nights. I get quite a bit done.
Nice.
So.
I'm trying to think if I have any other funny stories. It's not really. Not really. It's been too hot to be doing anything.
Yeah, it has been.
It makes me very cranky.
Tuesday, I think, was pretty decent.
Yeah.
But it was like low 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I was still, what was I doing on Tuesday? I don't know. I was outside for a good part of the day. I usually, I've been getting up like 5:30, 6 o'clock, get, you know, the animals taken care of. And then I get like all of my muscle of yarn emails and stuff out of the way for like, I work for like 3 or 4 hours on that. And then I do the same thing on the other end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the middle of the day, I go out and I work on like my fence line, or yesterday I trimmed the entire fence line, cut all the weeds and stuff back, because now that we actually are getting rain again,
yeah,
stuff is starting to grow.
Yep.
So yeah, it was so hot.
Yeah.
I said to Bob, I'm like, I got 15,000 steps in before noon. But we're getting close. We're actually, they're pouring concrete this morning for the barn addition.
Nice.
Yeah. I was going to get into the store a little earlier than I did, but he showed up at 8:30, and so I went out. My husband was on the phone with a client, and so he couldn't go out and meet them, and so I went out and was talking with them, and then and Bob did end up coming out. He got off his conference, and we haven't had that much rain. And of course, as they're there to set up the forms for the concrete, it started pouring. And so we went into the barn and stood there and we're chatting, but so I wasn't going to walk back to the house, so it ended up taking a little longer because I had to wait like half an hour for it to stop like pouring. Like if it had just been rain, I actually walked back to the house when it was still raining, but not pouring. And now the sun's out and there's like hardly any clouds around. It's so weird.
Super weird. Though we needed that little burst of rain. It's been so dry here.
Yeah, like the whole center of the state, like they've gotten quite a bit of rain to the south, and then way up near the border they've gotten a lot. But in the center of the state, we really haven't gotten that much this year. My grass is finally not brown anymore. Like everything was brown.
Oh yeah,
I was so worried because I was like, I'm not gonna have any pasture to feed the sheep when they come.
I know.
It was wild.
I know. When do your little guys arrive?
So it was funny. I got a text from Tammy, and she's like, "So I can bring your sheep up next week," and I was like, "That's great." I'm like, "But I can't take Pele yet." So Pele's the little ram, and he doesn't have his buddies from the other farm, Peterson farm. I've got 2 ram lambs that are going to be neutered, and they're going to be his buddies.
Okay.
And I don't want him to be by himself, so I was like, if you want to if you can hold on to him, I can take the girls anytime, and but I don't want him to be alone because they're almost at the age where they're gonna start being frisky.
Yeah.
The boys are. So so she's like, "Oh, I can do that." And then she was looking at her schedule, and she's like, I've got a delivery to make not too far from you in August. So, if you don't mind waiting, I can just bring them all then. I'm like, absolutely, it'll save you a trip. And
yeah.
So they're going to be coming a little bit later, and I've got to actually email Brenda at Peter's home and find out when she wants me to go pick up those guys. So
hang on. I'm going to pause this recording real quick. I got to go run something out to somebody that just pinged me that they showed up. So I'm going to pause recording and I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Back on. I have I have sparkly tiaras that I'm handing out for an event that is happening this weekend for a group of us. So somebody stopped by to pick up their tiara. And brought me a birthday present.
Aw, that's nice.
Yes.
I didn't have my act together to get your I still haven't given Jen her birthday present. Kind of everything fell apart, and I just hasn't happened. But
it may or may not have come from the grown-up beverage store. So very excited.
That's an awesome birthday present, especially this year.
I know, right? May or may not have also gotten a gift card to 802 Spirits. So I'm not really quite sure. Like, yarn booze.
People have you figured out,
They apparently do. So, all right. So we have a prize to draw for.
We do.
Yay! Yep. Okay.
This lovely bag and some lovely skeins of yarn.
So cool.
And then little notions.
Fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look, and some fuzz. So, let me give you a number of entries.
Okay.
You do the number
I got it.
Thingy.
Yep.
So, we have between 3 and 73.
Ooh. Okay, I'm going to hit send. Number 30. Oh, geez, I'm bad at this today. 32.
32 is Sarah W.
Woo!
That's awesome. So the fundraising effort that we were raising money for, the monies are going to the Southern Poverty Law Center. So I am going to be sending those off to them later today, the money. And I will email Sarah.
And how much did you say how much we raised for?
I did not. So it was $355.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah. So we have, I know.
Awesome.
I think I have Sarah's address too, but I will email her anyway just to confirm with her and let her know she won, so she doesn't get something in the mail and she's like, what is this?
What is this? She probably, maybe, hopefully.
If she saw the return address, then she would.
Yeah,
I think she watches too. So
nice. Congratulations!
I know.
Yay!
That's exciting. And I haven't put together the new prize pack. I have to decide on the organization that we're going to send funds to next. But we actually had a donation of yarn from a podcast viewer, and
which is so cool.
It's amazing. So there's some really gorgeous. There's a really pretty skein of yarn, and there's a pattern in here. So if people want to make the pattern, they can. And then look at these yarns. They're beautiful tonal yarns.
Oh yeah,
so beautiful.
I love those. That's all my color palette right there.
I know. So thank you. A huge thank you to Celeste for that donation.
Yes, thank you so much.
I have a feeling some of those will go into the prize pack I put together for this next round. So
yeah.
So stay tuned for that. I will post it on our website once I get that prize pack put together, and I will also post it on Instagram, and along with the organization that we will be donating money to this next time.
Nice.
So, and thank you for everybody. You guys are just amazing.
Absolutely.
Everybody
so
who
awesome.
who has donated to all of our fundraising that we've done so far this summer. So we appreciate it, and I'm sure the organizations appreciate every little bit that everybody can give, because times are hard and
there's a lot of need.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we get whatever on the road? Showboat on the road. I don't even know, what are we doing?
I just have to mark. I'm going to mark. I'm typing because I'm putting in the winner.
Oh yeah. I don't know what my hair is doing.
So that I don't forget, because some days, like our business meeting. Oh my God.
And I can't use prepared unprepared for the title of the podcast again, because that was last week, unless I make it part 2. The never-ending saga of prepared unprepared.
I know.
And I just feel smug that I have the appropriate computer with me and some of my knitting stuff.
Some of it. I didn't bring a scrap of my knitting. Not one project to work on. I was like, I haven't done any knitting. So, well, actually that's not true. I did work on the pattern that I'm writing for the next seasons of Vermont Box, but I can't really show that anyway, so I didn't bring it. And I'm going to sit down probably either this afternoon or tomorrow and write the pattern for that.
Yep.
So
we can get into it in events, but the Great Northern Yarn Haul is underway. There's all kinds of fun stuff going on right now.
We've had quite a few people visit that are doing that. I wasn't sure, how people would be feeling about getting out and driving, but the 3 states that we include in it, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, are all, they're fine with people from those 3 states visiting within their
right, without having to quarantine and do all that stuff. So
yeah, because we all have similar numbers as far as people are getting out and
awesome.
Traveling around and doing the yarn haul. I know, great.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll just it's gonna apparently be the Angela show. Okay. Maybe that's the title.
I have 2 things I can show.
It's all about me.
Well, it is your birthday, so it can be all about you.
Maybe I should make that the title. It's all about me. And then we'll just leave it up into the air as to who we're talking about.
Or you can do, it's a tiara.
It's a tiara. I should have brought mine in because mine's here, but anyway.
I have our fancy ones in there. I could go get one of them.
You could. These are actually sprung for legit, like these are legit
Nice.
tiaras. Yeah.
I couldn't even bring you a cupcake. Harrington's and Shelburne is closed.
I know.
Oh, I was so sad when I saw that.
I was going to run and get one, and then I was like, oh, Harrington's is closed. Where do I even get a cupcake over here now?
I know. Because that was like on my way in. I could have just stopped and gotten cupcakes there. I would have left one on your doorstep, but no, I couldn't even do that.
I know. So sad.
I know. I was so sad. We always get our ham for Christmas from them, and they had really good bacon.
I think the Richmond one is still open.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they just closed the
Shelburne one.
one.
But I mean, it makes sense, right? Shelburne Museum's closed, Shelburne Farms is closed. Like, you know, the stuff that draws people into the village to
Shelburne Museum is reopening now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. And actually for residents, it's going to be free until like September or something. So you can go for free.
That might be cool. That's one that we've always been kind of like, okay, because it's so much of it's outside.
Yeah.
But, you know, businesses and museums and folks, they can make their own decisions about what they feel comfortable about and what works. And
well, and not all of their exhibitions are open too.
Okay.
So I think there's some of the buildings aren't going to be open. So.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Okay, now we can start.
Okay, now we can start. Okay.